As long distance grandparents, we think a lot about the things that we miss. The hugs we don't get every week, those everyday moments that we wish we could be part of. I know I have felt those feelings for the last 3 years, but the more and more I've been realizing there actually are, believe it or not, some things that can work in our favor because we're long distance that can make our relationship unique and special just in a different way. As I've begun to understand this, I've been able to relax a little bit about it and start to focus on ways to introduce experiences that are unique in the relationship that I have with my grandson. So, if you are a long distance grandparent feeling like you're always trying to catch up, it is possible to create moments that your grandchild will associate you with you and will remember because they're different. So today I want to share 5 of those advantages with you and how you can maximize the potential that they provide. Before I get started, if you are a long distance grandparent and you could use some inspiration and some ideas for connecting with your grandkids, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything and it does help my channel to grow and to reach more people. So here are the 5 advantages and how to maximize the potential that they provide. So the first one is all about anticipation. When you don't live nearby, your time together doesn't usually just happen. It's typically planned, and that changes something important for your grandchild. Instead of your grandparent time blending into their everyday life, it becomes something that they can look forward to. They know something's happening and they're excited about it. And the anticipation becomes part of the connection that you have with them. So many long distance grandparents, I think, don't realize that this actually can be a strength. So your to do in order to take advantage is to schedule a regular time, one that your grandchild can rely on and anticipate. So they know. So every Wednesday at bedtime or every Thursday after lunch, that's their time with you. Once you have your schedule down, then this next one falls into place. Rituals can become more meaningful because your time together is intentional. Those small rituals start to carry really big meaning for your grandchild. Could be just a special way you say hello. It could be a countdown virtual hug, certain way you start your story time, or a special phrase that you say at the end. But these little rhythms, they seem really very simple to us, but to a child, they become emotional anchors, things that they associate specifically with you. And that allows your long distance relationships to grow naturally, and it creates space for those rituals to thrive. So here's an example, and you can steal this one. It's perfect for Valentine's Day week, but you can use it at any time. And that is to maybe at the start of a story time together or at the end of it, you can tell them a quick, super short 30-second story that's all about them. So here's one for Valentine's Day. Once there was a Grammy who loved a little boy so much that every time she saw red hearts, it made her think of him. So now you know every time you see a red heart this week, you know that I'm going to be thinking of you. So the great thing about that is it's so short. It's something they remember every detail of it and they connect it with you. And when they see a red heart, they think of you. So it works with, like I said, with anything, but it's more powerful if you have it related to something that's going on in their life. So your third advantage, the distance between you forces you into that perfect spot. Imagination becomes your shared meeting place. So when you can't always share the same physical space, imagination then becomes an easy place to meet instead. So it's story worlds, pretend adventures, ongoing characters that you create together. Children will connect with you more easily through those shared experiences, and especially imaginative ones. And story time, pretend play, creative rituals, they can become your superpower. And the great thing about them, especially with today's technology, is that they travel across any distance just beautifully. So another by default advantage of being a long distance grandparent results in your moments together standing out more in your grandchild's memory. Because your time together isn't constant, the moments you share often can stand out more clearly. They become your special grandma moments or grandpa moments. But children remember the things that feel emotionally distinct. And long distance grandparenting naturally creates those distinct experiences. That's not to say we can just rely on it happening, because when they see us, it's different because they don't see us every day. But when we do lean into intentionally creating those special traditions and rituals, it can make a significant difference. Lastly, you naturally develop something that is uniquely yours. So when you don't live nearby, you don't typically compete with their everyday routines. Instead, you get to become the grandparent associated with something that is uniquely yours. You could, maybe it's the storytime grandparent, the adventure grandparent, the memory making grandparent, the imagination grandparent. Whatever you decide to become in the eyes of your grandchildren. And those types of associations, children often carry with them for years. So, one of the biggest mindset shifts I've experienced is realizing this. Long distance grandparenting can't just be like local grandparenting, it's just not possible. So, it is its own kind of relationship with its own rhythms, its own strengths, and its own beautiful ways of creating connection. And when we stop trying to recreate what can happen from around the corner and instead begin leaning into what works because we're long distance, I think we often discover we can create those moments with our grandchildren that they can remember for life. So, in the coming weeks, I'm going to start sharing some simple rituals and creative connection ideas, especially ones that work beautifully in short FaceTime moments, because sometimes it's those smallest intentional moments that become the most meaningful. So, I have also put together a small printable with a few simple connection ideas that you can start using right away. If that would be helpful, you can find it in the description below. If you're a long distance grandparent who wants to create a relationship that feels deeply connected, even across the miles, I'd love for you to subscribe and join me here each week. I think that we can build something very special, a very supportive community here together. So I hope to see you next week.